death threats, that I'm going to be shot, threats that my mother was going to be kidnapped, and then also very, very dark statements about how Cecil the lion was lucky in comparison to my animals. My name's Thomas Chirpperfield and I'm a lion trainer. The lions I have, 2 beautiful male African lions, Sabo and Assegai.
Good boy, oh he's a good boy.
Then my male tiger Altai.
Good boy Altai. You've just woken up, haven't you? Go, good boy.
Outside of my big cats, my collection involves at least 8 parrots.
Alright guys.
Say hello, Flint. Nope, just wants to chew on my fingers. 3 foxes.
Alright Ranger, alright Ranger, alright Ranger. This is Lawrence, likely orphaned, not a viable candidate for release. We've taken him in and he is part of the family.
We have a skunk.
This is Maddie. Maddie likes to fight.
We have a raccoon.
We just start to eat dinner and Crockett decides to join us from his cupboard cave. Unfortunately, Crockett is dieting, so he won't be joining us in our chicken Kievs.
An Asian palm civet.
This is Louis. At night, the full moon syndrome comes out and he is unstoppable.
The possums. And we have a couple of snakes.
So this is Grumpy, this is Celine's corn snake. Grumpy certainly lives up to the name, but for the most part, a very agreeable snake.
This is our royal python, Cleo. My family's background in the circus was very, very big, celebrated back in the day. They had a collection of over 300 animals that used to travel with them, and they were also the pioneers of the drive-through safari parks that are famous around the world. I feel that my upbringing in the circus has given me a true appreciation for animals.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Good boy. And all right, on your place. Good. All right, on your place.
And just a fundamental respect for them as individual beings and their potential. My day normally starts in the morning. The first thing I'll go and do is to open up my animals, my big cats, to let them out.
Sabo.
Sabo doesn't do mornings, guys.
Okay, so we got a phone call a little bit earlier from our abattoir. They've got some pig's heads for us to come and get. That'll be good feed for our animals.
Depending on how hungry they are, between 1 and 2 pig's heads per day per animal is the typical feed, what they get.
You've got the meat, you've got the fat, you've got the skin, you've got the eyes, you've got the brain, and you've got the soft bone. So one manageable portion, you've got all the essential nutrients.
Training for the big cats is functionally what I would do in the circus ring or on the film set, just something to keep them motivated and interested.
Sabo here, Sabo here. Over, good boy.
All the basic stuff that you do with dogs, and this is stuff that can be done with non-domesticated animals as well. The parrots, it's what's called a recall, where they will fly from their station or their perch to you.
Come here, Flint.
For the smaller animals, that would involve putting them onto leads and collars and taking them for walks.
All right, Ranger. Good Ranger.
People, generally speaking, are surprised to see how quick and enthusiastic wild animals are to learn.
Lay down. Lay down, good boy. Good boy, side. Good boy, good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Working with big cats is what I would call a calculated risk, because they do have the potential to hurt you and to kill you, but as long as you treat them appropriately is what makes all the difference.
This is what happens when you forget to take your shovel out of the lion enclosure before you let the lions out.
Some of the more what look to be risky and daring things I do would be with the lions, like kissing and hugging the lions, letting them jump over the top of me, and then also just some of the faster choreographed routines where they do the running and the jumping. And I'm still here, so I think that speaks for itself.
Of course, they're here too.
What I made of the series Tiger King was, it didn't do exotic animal keepers like myself any favours, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm Joe Exotic, otherwise known as the Tiger King, the gay gun-carrying redneck with a mullet.
But the one thing it did do to our benefit was it served as a great leveller in terms of exposing the hypocrisy of the animal rights side in the film. It has generated a lot of conversation about what I do, and then about zoos as well, generally speaking. And it's not been fair criticism. The more, in inverted commas, controversial side of my work is people say animals shouldn't be used in entertainment or exploited for profit.
A lot of the public think that zoos, they return animals to the wild, they are protecting animals for the future, and they're funding conservation. And while they all do some of that, most of the animals in captivity are not endangered. So to me, I still think zoos are a primarily commercial thing, and I do think they should be phased out.
My defence is that people like seeing animals, and the best way to inspire people to care about animals is to behold them with their own eyes and to experience their full potential.
It's going down your sleeve.
When opposition to what I do has gotten really extreme, I've seen things like people intruding on our farm late at night, and then also threatening messages sent to our social media and to us via the post. Things like threats to myself, like death threats that I'm going to be shot, threats that my mother was going to be kidnapped, and then also very, very dark statements about how Cecil the lion was lucky in comparison to my animals.
Okay, so this is the view from out the back garden. Trying to avoid all the major landmarks that are nearby because I'm quite used to having people of an extreme mentality coming after me.
In January of this year, 2020, the British government introduced a ban on the use of wild animals in travelling circuses.
What do we want? Circus ban! When do we want it? Now!
So we've had to drastically reshape what we do with our animals in order to keep them and also sustain ourselves. That's where the shift has taken place from me moving primarily in circus circles to working in the media. So I still get to work with my animals in all the same ways I would in the circus, but without being able to share them with the public en masse, which to me is, I feel like I'm not giving as much as I can as an artist. Our future potentially involves us acquiring a plot of land and opening our own private zoo. I do intend to carry on with the work my family have always done. This is what I've always wanted to do. I feel connected to animals far more than I feel connected to people, and I just can't picture my life without them.